right, y'all. We are going to get this thing started. We are going to get started. I am doing my show today. I just decided to go ahead and jump on. The commercials are going right now. So I'm going to share some real information today that I think is really going to change our lives drastically. But I think people really need to understand the changes. So today I decided to go live since we've been trying to do stuff totally online, and a lot of things have been going on lately, but I'm going to ensure today that I break this down for you all. So I'm looking forward to sharing. For those of you that are new, the name of my show is Ahead of the Crypto Curve. I'm on KBLA Talk 1580 every Sunday at 11 a.m. You can download the app and you can listen in. My podcast should be able to be found all across the internet. You can get on Ahead of the Crypto Curve and listen to it. And you won't be able to hear my show intro and stuff like that, but I am live. I hear commercials in my ear, but we're going to get down to the nitty gritty today. I'm super excited about all the things that we have going on in 2025, and we've got a plan. I know, everybody's talking about Project 2025 and what it's going to do to and for the Black community. But ladies and gentlemen, I am here to let you know that we have a plan, and our plan is definitely going to work. And we're going to ensure that we close this wealth gap the way that we need to close it. So with that being said, my engineer in studio is queuing up my music to get me started. And then I'm going to start with my radio show today. And I just want to, take it easy. It's been a very interesting year. We've been waiting on regulation in the cryptocurrency space. My brick and mortar Bitcoin exchange has taken a bunch of hits as it relates to waiting on regulation to get in place. And because we now have what is considered to be the most crypto friendly administration coming in, it is going to be interesting to see what happens in 2025. So with that, stay tuned because I got some good information for you. And so my music has started on the radio show. So as soon as he brings me in live, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start. So again, I appreciate each and every one of you being here this morning, and we getting ready to get live. And if you need to hear music and commercials, you can also download the app and just listen to me live every Sunday. But we are going to get going from here. So I had my music done by EP, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to keep that going this year. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast and in between. I'd like to welcome you to Ahead of the Crypto Curve. I'm your host, Naja Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery on this virtual underground railroad. Y'all know I don't just do the show to make you change the way you think about money, but to make you change the way you look at money and everything else around you, because it absolutely matters. Today is December 15th, 2024, and what a great day it is. And I'm going to just start off with my quote as always, and I'm going to say that this is actually really relevant to what is going on in our space right now. Desperation is the raw material of drastic change. Only those who can leave behind everything they have ever believed in can hope to escape. And that quote is by William Burroughs. And let me just say this, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why that quote stuck with me and stuck to me today is because everything we know, everything that we've learned about money, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, was wrong in the first place. But now, because money is changing, everything we learn moving forward is critical. Now, again, I am not an advocate for going all in on cryptocurrencies or all in on what I'm talking about today, but I need our community to understand that it is critically important that they open up their eyes and understand that there is a drastic change. And because there's a drastic change, there's desperation in our public administration. I'm talking about our government. I'm talking about our banks. I'm talking about Wall Street. I'm talking about every entity out there that was used to making money off of us. They are in desperation mode right now. And desperation mode brings about material changes as quick as they can make them. And I want you all not to be fooled, because there is a thing happening in the background that nobody is paying attention to. While we're paying attention and arguing back and forth, first of all, about the elections or who's coming into office, and talking about Project 2025, which is a real thing, which is a real detrimental thing. I have been saying on this show for the longest, ladies and gentlemen, that the goal in this country is for us to own nothing and be happy. And we are on a railroad train that is going quickly down the tracks to where we own nothing and be happy about it. And with this thing called digital assets, specifically tokenization, over the last couple of days, I'm seeing something changing. I'm seeing a shift. And we have got to get our community ready and understanding that this ain't get rich quick, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a way of life. And if we don't leave behind everything that we have been thinking, or everything that we have believed to be true, we are not going to escape in any uncertain way unscathed. And I am going to say to you that the Black community specifically, I'm not talking about any other communities specifically, but I am going to tell you this: based on the direction that this digital train is moving, we will be at a negative net worth way before 2035, which is what was projected. I believe if we don't get this right in the next 5 years, ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to be able to do anything anywhere collectively, individually, and we're not going to even be able to maintain. And I always say we have got to move from surviving to thriving. But ladies and gentlemen, what is happening right now, we have got to think about an escape. And I don't even know if I can even bring the magnitude to you of what I'm reading in these next two shows as we conclude this year. But I'm going to help you understand what is happening in this tokenization space and what I see and what this blockchain has to offer. And again, making sure we're clear that there are different blockchains. There are centralized blockchains. There are a few decentralized blockchains. And all of them have to do with the cryptocurrency space, with the tokenization space, because a coin is different from a token. And as we come forward, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get a better understanding of what I see coming and what we're going to have to plan to do in 2025 to get our lives in order. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed into our commercial on the air. And, I'm really excited because I've been doing a lot of reading. And early on, I was told as a child that most of the stuff that we need to know is in books and people don't read. And that's a big problem. And because we don't read, we don't understand what is really happening. But what I took the liberty of doing I'm going to say the last 2 months, because I've kind of been silent. I've been on social media a little bit here and there. I've been making some videos here and there. But ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is that things are changing quicker than we ever could imagine. This thing called AI is starting to weigh in on money. It is starting to weigh in on the employment industry, how people are getting hired and all of those things. And there are going to be some things that we've got to know. And so we're going to take a deep dive today and really get people to really start to understand this thing called tokenization and really how you can benefit from it, because we have some plans. We have some things that we need to do. And so since I've been talking about cryptocurrency for the last 6 or 7 years, I have my own brick and mortar cryptocurrency exchange. We're doing a lot of deals. We're watching a lot of things happen. And really, none of our community is even participating the way that they should be. Now, some folks have some coins and some cryptocurrencies, and they're doing well. But for the most part, how are we all going to thrive? And so I'm going to explain that with you today. So we're on a commercial break right now, and we're going to just really get this thing going. So if you're not following me right now, or you don't get any text message updates from me, you can go to, you can text me at 424-317-7373. And again, that number is 424-317-7373. I do some birthday shout outs and things like that. But ladies and gentlemen, it's really to get you the information needed. And as stuff starts to unfold, I've been talking about this stuff live on the air for 2 years. In fact, I can arguably say that this is the longest running syndicated cryptocurrency show that has been on the radio. We have been on the radio. January will be 3 years, and we've been saying things. I've been saying things, and these things are starting to come to fruition. And so I get these calls. Well, what did you say about this? How do we communicate when the internet goes down? How do we communicate if they shut down our electricity? How do we, all of these things I've been sharing with you all, ladies and gentlemen, and I feel like we're coming to a culmination of things that we need to do. So let's get ready. Let's make this thing happen. And we're going to dive in. I'm assuming my engineer is going to tell me we got a few more minutes, right? A few more seconds. And 10 seconds. All right. Thank you. So we're going to get this thing going, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that you all will start to listen, not just because Bitcoin is up high, but all right, welcome forward, everybody. And I don't know if y'all can hear, but I am super hyped. I almost forgot to say happy birthday to all of those of you who have birthdays this week and are celebrating. I hope your day, your birthday, is filled with all the love, joy, peace, happiness, and understanding you deserve on your birthday. And ladies and gentlemen, you can reach out to me via text message if you have any questions about anything that I'm talking about today. And I'm not bringing any opportunities. I just want to make sure that I'm clear. I want our community to be ahead of what is taking place and what is transpiring. And we're going to dive deep. But before I do, I got to give you that phone number. It's 424-317-7373. Again, 424-317-7373. And yes, what I'm talking about from now until January 18th, I will be hitting the road. I'm going to be on tour with the Black College Expo. So if I'm coming to a city near you, which you can find on my social media, you can come and learn just like the kids that are coming in or going into college, because I'm going to be there. The events are free. We're not charging for this education. We got to make sure that we get this, ladies and gentlemen. But today we're going to take a deep dive into the cutting edge understanding of cryptocurrency, blockchain, and what the future of finance is going to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I keep saying the future of finance is because right now we've been talking about cryptocurrencies. We've been talking about Bitcoin. I've been talking about how people create coins to extract money from you, how people have the mindset of get rich quick, when we need to be thinking about longevity and what we can do to build wealth today that is going to go from generation to generation to generation. And I'm going to ask you all to really plug into your mind and think about it. When you signed up for that 401k with your job, you didn't sign up with that 401k, and every time you looked at a statement and it looked like it grew a little bit, you ran and pulled it out. No, you didn't do that. Why didn't you do that? Because they had penalties for doing that. And the reason they have penalties for doing that is because they make more money off the money that you have. They make more fees off the money that you have. And there are so many different financial mechanisms that do exactly that. They make money off your money. But ladies and gentlemen, we have entered a world where we are in control of our financial destinies. How are we able to do that? We have our own wallets that are a representation of the wealth that we are building. And again, I am talking about slow and steady that is going to win the race. But you also have to have the eyesight and the mindsight to be able to see ahead of what is coming. And ladies and gentlemen, my research over the last 2 to 3 months will take us in a little bit of a different direction. Anything that you do in the investing space, in the saving space, I am going to continue to say the same thing. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. But with that being stated, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to say to you that you need to diversify in all things. If your investment play or your savings play is to have insurance in your portfolio, you need to diversify in the insurance space, which means you need to have life insurance with living benefits. You may need to have term insurance. You may need to have accident insurance. You may even need to have an annuity, which is insurance in some fashions. So if you're going to be investing in precious metals, maybe you need to invest in gold, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you need to invest in silver. Maybe it's platinum. Maybe it's, I don't know, copper. But that is diversification within that asset class. And as we talk about cryptocurrencies, ladies and gentlemen, you need to diversify in things like Bitcoin, maybe a little bit of Ethereum or any of these other cryptocurrencies that you want to get involved in. But some of these are tokens. And what I am seeing, we've been seeing this for the last 5 to 6 years, but what I am seeing is about to be an explosion of tokens in our lives. They are going to tokenize everything. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to have you here today because as we approach the end of the year, we find ourselves standing at the edge of an immense transformational change. And I don't even know if, again, I can be as animated as I can be because I believe this with my whole heart and my whole soul. But what I do know is this moment right now, ladies and gentlemen, as we transfer from 2024 to 25, we have both opportunity and we have uncertainty. And let's just take a moment to actually reflect because just a few years ago, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was this foreign thing. In fact, today I went to log on to LinkedIn and they were telling me that some of my posts have been taken down because I'm creating illicit activity. Now, that's a weird thing because Bitcoin is on every news channel, every news station. However, I'm doing illicit activities, sharing with you all that Bitcoin in its totality is going to change the game around the banks. And again, the banks have some uncertainty. Our government has some uncertainty because they don't really know what direction this is going to go unless they can control it. So I need you to understand that that niche market called cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, because again, Bitcoin is just one of the cryptocurrencies, but that niche, that experiment, that even risky thing that I will still say is risky, and I'm going to say you have to have your risk tolerance together. But those same digital currencies, ladies and gentlemen, are being adopted right now by institutions. And I'm going to tell you that 47%, and I'm getting hot talking about this right now, 47% of all of the institutions where you invest your money right now, ladies and gentlemen, have begun investing in cryptocurrencies, in digital assets. What does your portfolio look like? And I'm not telling you right now to run out and get a Fidelity account and invest in cryptocurrencies through Fidelity. I'm not telling you to run out to BlackRock and get a some sort of BlackRock account. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that you can do this yourself. You can control your financial destiny with the wallet that you have in your possession, the wallet that only you have the keys to. This is a moment in time that I have to say that governments around the world are starting to wake up. And I believe because of the new administration coming in, that our government is going to wake up. But you know who I want to wake up, ladies and gentlemen? Our community. We are missing the boat. And I told you all last week, I'm ecstatic that Bitcoin hit $100,000 per coin. But what good is it if the community around me and my family and my friends and those who listen have not taken a stance to learn and get in the game? It's like y'all are standing at the train station while we sitting on the train and y'all waving us goodbye and we're putting our luggage on the train and you're looking at us through the window and really not taking advantage of what is going on. But this is a movement and it has become a force to be reckoned with. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, we've been busy learning all kinds of things: Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and something even bigger is taking shape. And again, I'm not saying do not get involved in all of the above, but start to pay attention because the shift is so profound that the potential to touch every aspect of our lives, from how we spend money to how we own property, to art, to even our engagement with our government, is about to shift. And that shift is called tokenization. So, what is tokenization? It is the process, ladies and gentlemen, of taking assets, whether they are physical or digital. And I think how we got a little bit messed up is that whole big NFT push. Everybody was talking about NFT this and NFT that, and you couldn't get into certain events or functions unless you had certain tokens and NFTs and all of this stuff. And they gave us a distraction that really didn't allow us to understand what these digital tokens are going to do. But ladies and gentlemen, everything known to man, yes, everything I am seeing is on a path to tokenization. And the implications are staggering. And why are they staggering, ladies and gentlemen? Because before, tokens were fragmented. And I'm just going to say it like this. You had Polkadot that had a token, and you had all these different companies that had tokens, and they were not interoperable. That means the blockchains didn't talk to each other. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as of recently, I'm not going to say how recent, and I'm not going to say how astute and well they work, but interoperability between blockchains is not a thing of the past, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. So as we talk about banks tokenizing, as we talk about real estate tokenizing, as we talk about construction jobs tokenizing, ladies and gentlemen, everything is going to be tokenized and is going to be on the blockchain. Imagine a world where the deed to your house is represented by a token. And you ain't going to have to, I'm not going to say that you're going to have to imagine too much longer, because prayerfully, ladies and gentlemen, what is being put together by our community for our community is a tokenization platform or a token by which you can own farmland, but you can also own rental properties and do well with it, because anytime you need to cash out, because it is tied to a real world asset, you're going to be able to do well. And the reason why I know that this is going to take our community by storm is because you don't have to be an accredited investor. We are going to work with entities, file with the SEC, make sure that our community is able to participate in this without having to have $1 million net worth. And y'all do know that those folks that have $1 million net worth, they've been able to participate in things like this. And I won't say tokenization specifically because people don't even really understand it. But what these digital tokens are going to do is make it faster to transfer ownership. It is going to make it where you can sell your favorite purse, your favorite shoes, your favorite art at the drop of a, I'm not going to say a drop of a dime, but at the drop of a Bitcoin or a Satoshi or the drop of a token. And it's going to give you the benefits of having not just the token, ladies and gentlemen, but the success of the project behind it. And we're starting to see some of that worldwide tokenization coming to life in our community. A lot of people are talking about right now XRP. They're talking about, and XRP has been saying for years that they have all of these relationships with banks and they have all of these relationships and they had their bouts with the SEC. But I believe because of what has happened with XRP, it is going to open the floodgates for infrastructure, for investments and tokens. And I'm seeing where our government is going to have their hand in the pot first. And so, again, this isn't science fiction. This isn't science fiction. It's already happening. And our governments are and have been exploring central bank digital currencies every single day. Businesses have been looking at tokenization of these real world assets. And I'm going to tell you this, things like tokenization of carbon credits. Like, why would we in our community, I don't want to say why would we care about carbon credits, but the rich and the fluent have been using carbon credits to write off on their taxes, to cash in, to get additional funding. Our community doesn't even know about things like that. But maybe if we took it and put it in token form, our community can benefit from things like carbon credits, and we can make money on the back end based on what the government is paying for us utilizing these types of clean energies. We know California is moving to a model where everything or every car is going to have to be electric. How do we benefit from that and not have to invest in Tesla or any of those things? Well, tokenization is going to be the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward after news, sports, and traffic, we're going to continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, y'all. I got a lot going on. As y'all see, I'm on the radio and I'm trying to, today I just said, forget it. I got to make sure our community knows somebody's been calling me like back to back to back. And, you know, it is really critically important. I've been asked like where my shows are. My shows are at, you should be able to go to aheadofthecryptocurve.com and see some of my shows, my prior shows. You should also be able to go to najaroberts.com and find some of my shows. You can download KBLA Talk 1580 on your iPhone or your Android, which is the radio station that I'm on right now, to ensure that you can get the information that you need. But I've been talking about a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, that is really going to be beneficial to us in 2025. And so for those of you that are just tuning in, my husband and I are in the process of purchasing an 824-acre ranch. And this tokenization thing has really taken me to a different level of understanding, Because when I started to really figure out like what we're going to need to do with the SEC and how we're going to need to really function to make sure that our community is safe, you know, I'm realizing, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not far behind, but being 3 years behind is far behind. And for the first time in history, our community has the opportunity to get ahead. We can get ahead by paying attention. And really, I know a lot of us don't have time to read, and that's one of the things that's bothering me. I've got to do more reading. And so let me just tell you what I did to start to read and really make sense of things. I downloaded an app and I don't get any money from it. I'm not trying to be a referral agent for Speechify. But while I'm cooking, while I'm doing different things, I've downloaded Speechify. And Speechify is actually helping me get more content into my brain. And it wasn't until I started saying, you know what? Instead of me just doing the dishes or cooking and listening to an ebook, which I can, I really need to start paying attention more to what's happening in this tokenization space. And so I'm almost scared for our community. And I almost, just like when I was trying to get and educate people on Bitcoin, I wanted to shake people to say, man, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Now that Bitcoin is $100,000 and it's fluctuating back and forth, which is going to continue to do, it is not too late for you to do Bitcoin. You can still buy Satoshis. You can still be a Satoshi millionaire. All it's going to take right now is just about $1,000, but you can still participate in that. I'm talking about diversifying into some tokens that are backed by real world asset that you can benefit from. Ladies and gentlemen, they are going to begin to take all of our liberties and all of our money, because if I could tell you kind of how I framed it in my mind, and I'm not going to necessarily say it on the radio because I don't want to scare too many folks. I feel like what's being built is an orange. And inside those oranges, or inside this orange, ladies and gentlemen, are orange seeds. And it's in the form of a token. And I believe that interoperability is going to allow them to change from an orange to an apple without you even knowing what's going on. And I believe that the central bank digital currency that is going to come out, that I've been talking to you all about, I used to use the analogy of a food stamp. You can have food stamps, be on food stamps, and right now they're called EBT cards. You can walk into any grocery store, some fast food places, and you can buy food. Some people can buy cooked food, and somebody can pay. They can buy raw food based on how their EBT card has been programmed. But you cannot walk into Best Buy or Bed Bath and Beyond, which is closed now, or Radio Shack, which is closed now. You can't walk into any store that sells electronics and use your EBT card to buy a TV when it's designated for food. And again, you can buy hot or cold food based on how it's programmed. This central bank digital currency is going to be exactly that. You are not going to be able to watch or buy what you want to buy if the government does not deem that a safe place for you to buy it. If you don't believe what I'm saying, I don't know what they're going to do with TikTok, but within, I don't know, I'm looking at my cat, within about 30 days, when TikTok dies, you are going to see, or gets cut off here in the United States, you are going to see how much control they actually have. Now, TikTok may sell to an American company, but we're going to start to see the very first thing with our youth and with some of us, because a lot of us are on TikTok. We're going to see exactly how they can take our freedoms at the drop of a date, or at the drop of a computer switch, or at the drop of anything. And you need to be aware of these things. And these digital currency called tokenization. Thank you. I heard you. 30 seconds. We're back on in 30 seconds. I'm gonna stop preaching to y'all in about 30 seconds because I'm back on the radio. But it is happening, y'all. And I don't know. I tell you, I am praying to God that you all are listening. Praying, praying, praying that you're understanding that the ownership has to be controlled by you. We can no longer allow everybody but us to control our money. So we're back on right now in just a second. So All right, everyone. Welcome forward. Welcome forward. You know, during our commercials, I am on one, just really trying to make sure that I am honing in and making you all understand how critically important this change we are experiencing is, how much it's going to affect our lives. And so I got a question for you. Are you ready? Are you ready for a world where ownership, investments, and participation are no longer limited by borders, by bureaucracy, because bureaucracy kills us, or outdated, lethargic systems? Ladies and gentlemen, we put in for loans and grants, and it takes forever because of the bureaucracy and the red tape. Are you ready to understand the tools, the technologies, and the opportunities that are actually going to define the next era of finance in our society? Whether you like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, that time is here. It is coming. And no matter if you get involved now or whether you get involved later, you're going to get involved. And yes, you need to understand wallets, because your tokens that are attached to your real estate, that are attached to your vehicle that you're driving, that are attached to the plumber that's coming to unplug or unstop your drains, because all of those things eventually are going to require you to have a token or a coin to participate. We need to thrive, ladies and gentlemen, in this new reality by positioning ourselves. And we need to talk about the fundamentals of the blockchain, because when I talk about interoperability, the biggest argument was between banks. Now, we've said, or I've said for a very long time, because of what I know, that Bank of America has the largest section in their bank for blockchain technology. They're one of the banks. They may not be the biggest now, but they started out having the most amount of blockchain patents. Now, that may be different. I haven't researched that. But the challenge was, if Bank of America has a blockchain and Wells Fargo needs that information, well, Wells Fargo is not Bank of America. But now Wells Fargo has their own blockchain division, and they have their own technology around their blockchain. But the two don't talk to each other because they're different banks. But now interoperability allows everybody to maintain their own data, their own records, but it allows the blockchains to talk. And when Naja decides that she wants to use Wells Fargo tokens, but she needs to pay somebody on the Bank of America blockchain, or she needs to sell a house to somebody on the Bank of America blockchain who has tokenized the deed, we're able to do those transactions. So, how much do you really understand about blockchain? Because a lot of people still think that there's only one blockchain. There's hundreds of thousands of blockchains that do different things. Now, there may be blockchains that are spinoffs of another blockchain, but ladies and gentlemen, that's just the second layer of an original blockchain. And so you need to find out, moving forward, if we're talking about tokens, you need to start looking at tokens that have real backing by real world assets. So let me start and stop for just a second to back up with that. Over the years of me doing what I do by owning my own brick and mortar cryptocurrency exchange where we sell Bitcoin only, we've had the privilege, my husband and I, of people coming in to talk to us about the different coins or tokens that they've created. And many of them have been around gold. So let me tell you what I've heard, because I don't want you to run out there and get a token backed by the real world asset which is gold. I don't want you to be fooled. I want you to be clear and understand there are still scammers everywhere. And there are still people that have lofty ideas that mean well, but greed takes in. So again, you get involved with who you know and trust. And I think third would be the like. It usually goes know, like, and trust. But I need you to know, trust, and like, and really do your research. So let me just take this gold coin, for instance. I had a guy that used to come in my office, and why we would think he was reputable. And I'm not, if he's listening today, I'm not saying that you're not reputable. I'm not saying that you're not an upstanding citizen. But when he came in to talk to us about the gold coin that he came dressed as a airline pilot. And some of you would think, okay, why is that such a big deal? Every time he came, he was dressed in his airline pilot uniform. And that was bringing some sort of, I want to say, calmness to people because they believed what he said, because we have trust in airline pilots, because those pilots take us from point A to point B. Hopefully they have some expertise while we're up there in the air. But it brought him a certain reputable reputation because he had on this uniform. And I used to ask myself, why is he in here and he ain't going to work at American Airlines with this uniform on? So I started asking, how long before you go to work? Or did you just come from work? And I found that he just wore this uniform on GP. Mind play, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say that everybody that's going to come to you with a token, it's got some mind play going on until you physically understand what lies behind their coin. Now, not that his gold coin didn't do good, but he didn't create the gold coin. However, the people behind the gold coin pushed him in to make our community purchase more of these tokens. And so I never bought in. I never was open to what he was talking about, but because he presented it, I had to listen to see what he was talking about. And so that coin never went anywhere. And I don't think it ever will. But I'm also going to point to a gentleman that had come to us from another community. He had a gold coin. He showed us how his gold coin was backed by real world asset gold, which was in a safe somewhere. And it wasn't even in a safe, it was in a vault somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. And he even went so far as to show us a camera that stayed affixed to the front of this vault so that you could see that no gold would be moved from this vault because you were investing in the gold that was behind the vault door. And if you could log in at any time and see the camera and see that the gold never moved, in your mind, you would think that you're safe in this investment because that gold was behind the vault and you've never seen anybody come to steal any of the gold. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just bring to your attention that there are things called loops. And they can make a camera show 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the front of this vault while you're thinking that this gold is safe, and they've moved the gold just like they did with Fort Knox. The gold is missing. And I believe that anybody that is telling you that there's a real world asset that is backed by gold, or a token that is backed by that real world asset, you've got to really take a real good look at it. The next one that came with gold had gold mines over in Africa. And I'm not going to say the actual country because that'll offend some folks. But I've had folks with gold coins from Zambia. I mean, I'm not going to tell you where these folks were. I've had some people with gold mines in DRC, Ghana, Nigeria, you name it. But the last group of folks show contracts with the government. And y'all know people can just make these things up. They can make these documents up. They can even have you call someplace to verify that their token is backed by these assets. You've got to do your due diligence. So, as we talk about tokenization this week and next week, as we as I run out of time because I'm coming to the top of the hour, ladies and gentlemen, I have got to get you to understand that all that glitters is not gold. So when I'm talking to you about tokenization, we're going to be talking about tokenizing of bonds, things that you can verify with our government. When we're talking about verification, a property you can actually go to, a website that you can actually log into for the county and see that your real world asset is linked to the token you're about to purchase, and how much money is to be made and how much money comes to you. All of these things are verifiable, which is why in this space we say trust but verify. And you're going to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward on this show ahead of the crypto curve, I know I ran into all of our sponsors time, but ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we'll continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. So ladies and gentlemen that are on live, again, this is a little bit hard for me to do because I am on the radio and I am talking to our community all across the United States. This is a nationally syndicated show. We got sponsors. I hear commercials in my ear you're not going to be able to hear. But I really need to know that this tokenization is not just a trend. It is not a trend. It's evolution and it's happening. And so we're taking steps in our community to do what we need to do. Now, we didn't listen. And I've been saying that we need to follow what El Salvador is doing. El Salvador, yep, that third world country that had all those gang members, that had all that crime, that was poor as they could be. Ladies and gentlemen, start to Google it. Go look at it. Go figure out what the president did over there. Bukelele, he has killed the game by purchasing Bitcoin and holding it. Again, I'm not a financial advisor anymore on purpose, but I will tell you this. It is okay to copy cat as long as you copy the right cat. And I said from the beginning, when El Salvador's president first started getting involved in Bitcoin, I said, if the Black community buckles down and all we do is get a little bit at a time, if we dollar cost average, we get rid of the volatility. We get rid of the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, not getting too high on your highs and not getting too low on your lows. I'm not excited about $100,000 Bitcoin because we've got so much more that we got to do than just have Bitcoin in our portfolio. Ladies and gentlemen, what about our houses? What about our cars? What about our freaking food? They're feeding us plastic. They're making meats right now, ladies and gentlemen, and they're using 3D printers. Yes, if you don't believe me, look it up. It ain't just me talking. It ain't AI generated videos. They are making meat with 3D printers. And if we do not control our money, if we don't control our food, if we don't control our housing, if we don't control our land, we are going to be SOL, because I can't cuss on here because I don't want it to get taken down. But we are going to be SOL. So we need to have self-sovereignty with our money. We need to have self-sovereignty with our food. We need to have self-sovereignty with our housing, our land. And we got another self-sovereignty. I'm not going to introduce that to you. But ladies and gentlemen, we're coming back on in just a second. And I haven't even talked about where Bitcoin is or anything like that, which people are waiting on. So I'm just going to say this. We're going to pick up this conversation about tokenization. Bitcoin right now is at $103,000. And it just, all right, welcome forward, welcome forward. I want to thank y'all for allowing me to go on the ramble today because I know I'm rambling, but I need you to know that I will bet my life on the fact that we are running out of time. And I'm not telling you to invest in the cryptocurrency currency space or the tokenization space right now till you really understand. I am no longer a financial advisor on purpose. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. But stuff is changing and we're getting left behind because we're worried about all this bull malarkey. I use my grandfather's word without cussing. We're worried about all this bull malarkey happening around us, and we're not paying attention because it's a massive distraction happening. And there's no bait and switch. There's no bait and switch. It's just going to happen because we're not paying attention and we're not reading. So, my mission is to make sure that you're not just watching this change from the sidelines, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to be a part of it. So buckle up. I'm going to start the next couple of weeks until the end of the year, really talking to you about what tokenization means to you, your future, and the world. And we can build this together, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready to get ahead of not just the cryptocurrency curve, but the tokenization curve? And we've got to do it because it's happening. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is trading at $103,201. And while I have a smile on my face, again, I'm not super happy because not enough of my friends and family are here to enjoy this. And our community is not here to enjoy this. So Bitcoin is up in the last hour, 0.06%. In the last 24 hours, it's up 1.87%. And in the last 7 days, it's up 3.3%. Ethereum is trading at $3,904. It's up in the last hour, 0.18%. In the last 24 hours, 1.21%. And it's down 2.05% in the last 7 days. You've got XRP that's now trading at $2.41. And again, I'll be the first one to say I was hell bent against XRP. And I was hell bent against you taking your retirement and dumping it into XRP. Now hold on, because I'm not saying that it's not going to go any further, but I am tired of hearing the horror stories about people who invested all of their life savings and stuff crashes. So what I am going to see and say is that in seeing, the fat lady ain't sung yet on a lot of these coins. And what I am going to say is be responsible. Just like when you drink, don't drive. Be responsible, be able to pay attention, be able to pivot, be able to understand what is creating the value in the coin at that time. And is that coin going to need to subside in order to level things out, to balance? We're getting into a zone where President Trump is about to take office again. And as you all know, this administration is big on cryptocurrency. So it may continue to rise. But ladies and gentlemen, it is going to have it's going to have to pull back. It's going to have to pull back. And I don't know how much it's going to pull back, but be ready for it. But when it happens, please remember, I have always said, if we are talking long game, relax, take a deep breath, understand what's happening, and do not panic, because we are just at the beginning of a revolution. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got to come forward again as we tap into our commercials. But when we come forward, we'll continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna come from behind here for a second, and just really just share with you all. I'm excited. If you all have not visited any of my, I can't hear the radio anymore. Hopefully it's on, but oh, there it goes. So I'm hoping that you all have logged in. You can follow me on all social medias at Naja Roberts, Najah Roberts. No underscores, no dots. There's many scammers out there. It may say Naja 1, Naja 2, Naja underscore Roberts. That is not me. I will never, ever ask you to send me money. Never, ever, 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 ever ask you to send me money. If you are investing in a platform and you need more money to pull that money out, you are being scammed. Please do not send anybody any money. I do not trade for people. I teach people how to trade. Thank you, sir. I'm coming back in 30. I believe instead of giving people fish, teach them how to fish so they can live longer. So that being said, I want to teach y'all how to fish. Stay tuned. I'm going to go this week back to my show, which is going to be Money Straight, No Chasers. So we're going to do that. But in the meantime, let's wrap this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome forward, welcome forward. So as you know, we are almost at the top of the hour. I am not going to sugarcoat anything anymore. I've been prepping. I've been telling my listeners about prepping financially, making sure that I own my own money. And how do you own your own money? Learn about what we're talking about in the self-sovereign space and get ahead of the crypto curve. Start prepping, making sure, ladies and gentlemen, that no matter what pops off, if the energy cuts off, or if the electric cuts off, if our cell phones cut off, whatever is happening, if we go to war and Russia is interfering, whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be ready at home. You need to prep. You need to get your dental work done. And I've been talking about this for a year now, so most of y'all dental work should already be done. Make sure you get out to the projectile range, because we're on social media. So y'all know what that means, right? Make sure you get out there so you can protect your families. Make sure that you're pre-purchasing if you can. I know a lot of people are living from paycheck to paycheck, but make sure you pre-purchase some non-perishable goods where you can eat at home for, I'm going to say 3 to 6 months. Because we get amnesia about what happened during COVID. Yeah, you were able to go to the grocery store, but was everything you needed there? Pre-purchase, ladies and gentlemen. I've started freeze drying food. I've started canning. I've started going back to the basics, the things that my grandmother used to do. She used to can peaches. I didn't even realize you could can meat and all of those things, especially with all the recalls that are happening. Ladies and gentlemen, we really need to get a footing in our community, and we need to start preparing. If you have questions that you want to ask me, you can send me an email to asknajaroberts@gmail.com. You can also send me a text message to 424-317-7373. Again, 424-317-7373. I've shared that my husband and I have walkie-talkies that stretch 6,000 miles, and we've already tested them with me traveling and my husband being at home, and it's crystal clear communication. What happens when our cell phones go down? Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin is on sale. A whole bunch of stuff is on sale. Just know, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, and really take time to pay attention. This is Naja Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. And ladies and gentlemen, next week, we're going to continue the conversation on tokenization. Be blessed and have an incredible week, and stay tuned. Watch me on social media. Peace and blessings, fam. All right, y'all. My show is over, but I will be this week making sure that we get on top of this, because it is critically important that we figure out what's happening in our space, because everything's changing. It is changing. So with that, I love y'all. Peace and blessings. Have an incredible rest of your day.